my service automated, like data running through my veins. Got you distracted, subconscious overloaded. Careful, don't pull the cord on me. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up in ya. We know it's charging. I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating. I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown. Rewind my circuits, but you don't get that courage, 'cause you can handle my game. No, my drive's a puzzle. I got you so bumfuzzled, 'cause you can fall into my pain. No time to stay around. Keep walking till you get out of my face. Regrets, restricted access. I'm just a flight to get up in ya. We know it's charging. I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating. I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown. I won't waste my love on your heart. Sorry, 'cause I can't get what I want, and I don't need ya. It's charging. I'm gonna waste my time with someone slowing me down, 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 down. So high, I'm floating. I'm shining in my prime. Start rolling over 'cause you can't take my crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. My crown. I'll always be 10 feet off the ground. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown. Can't take my crown.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hello to Corrupt
Distinct
Morgan, of course.
Dorito too. I'm assuming that's Didius.
with the 7-month resub. Thank you, Morgan. We also have Distinct Dorito, which is one of the best names I've seen in a long time.
What kind of Dorito though? That's the
Are
important
we,
question.
Cool Ranch or nacho
It-
cheese?
It's such a cool name that someone obviously had the actual Distinct Dorito, and this person had to be Distinct Dorito too. I'm sorry someone beat you to it, but I know how it feels.
Did
Actually,
you,
yeah.
did you guys see that Mountain Dew Dorito? That's
Yes, I saw that Mop ate them, and she said they weren't all that bad.
Isn't it amazing when there's something like that and you're shocked when it gets such high appraisal as not that bad.
Not that bad.
Because I feel like with stuff like that, where it's like out of left field, you expect it to be bad, and so when people are like coming in and talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's not that actually bad," and it's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
When I was in 6th grade, I had Whopper flavored Doritos, and they were both really good and very disturbing because it did taste like biting into a Whopper, but it was crunchy.
Wouldn't that just be like a
freaked me out.
cheeseburger Dorito?
I'd be having an existential crisis if I was eating a Whopper Dorito.
Honest to God, it was weird. Like I could taste
the taste of
like
did
a
you
patty.
take those and put them on an actual Whopper to see if you got?
I ate them on the way to a field trip. But it was weird. Because you could like taste like the patty. I could taste pickle flavor and ketchup. It was really weird.
Damn, you should have put it on a Whopper and then eat it. So then it was like a never-ending loop of just Whopper flavor.
Do you mean a mystery flavor, like a Dorito mystery flavor? I know Mountain Dew has always had fun with seemingly inventing new flavors every time I turn around or bringing back old ones.
Most foods don't do mystery flavors. I feel like most food or like candies do mystery flavors, but not really like food items.
Hold on, I'm glad you asked. See, this is why it's great that we have audience interaction, right? Because we already
went on a Dorito tangent.
Yeah. Get ready, Wendy's tangent coming in 43 minutes. Podon has asked a wonderful question. So today, we're back. If you don't know us, by the way, we're Streamers Become Human, a podcast, and we often interview streamers and people in the Twitch community. And today we have a very special guest, a wonderful, wonderful variety streamer, a teammate of ours on True Variety.
Yes.
A super chill guy, and a skilled FPS player, Didius. Didius, welcome to the show. It's really good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for wanting to be on, because most of the time we have to like, bug people to be on, and like they're like, I got something to do that day. And I was like, all right, well, guess we just won't have a guest. And Didius was like, hey, I'll be on. And we're like, oh, okay, we gotta make time for it. And then we're like, immediately.
Sam, how are you? It's good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Oh, you've actually been here before. So Didius, the way we usually start these out is with an icebreaker of some kind. So, our question for you, to get things started, is if you were to grab a drink or a cup of coffee with any video game character, who would it be?
And why?
And why, preferably, yes.
That's the fun part. And you can take a minute. It's a loaded question.
Whoa, Tater, thank you so
and
much.
If you don't drink coffee, then it'd be grabbing a pint with somebody or like whatever.
Grabbing a
people
beverage.
drink. Yeah.
Whatever beverage.
Any kind of beverage. It doesn't even have to be a beverage. You can go get ice cream with them. Whatever.
Any kind of beverage. It does not mind. Like
Yeah.
what?
Who would you split Mountain Dew Doritos with?
Hey, who would you split Mountain Dew Dorito with?
Well, you know what popped in my head, I guess, was Samus. From Metroid.
That's a good choice. We haven't had that answer before, actually.
I'll go with that.
Okay, sub question: in or out of the armor?
Out. I'd probably be afraid if they're in the armor.
But that'd be like a badass story. It's like why is someone here with like a full body armor?
Morgan consults the giant amiibo collection.
I feel like she had that one just like sitting there because she knew that was gonna be your answer.
It was sitting like right behind. Here, wait a minute. I gotta
Soylent.
refocus my camera.
Okay, so why Samus in particular?
Just the first thing that popped in my head, really. I mean, played a lot as a kid. Grew up in NES or Atari first, but NES was a big one. Just one of the first games I played a ton of.
Oh, that's interesting. So you started, because I know you're a big PC gamer. So you started out on consoles first.
Right. Well, I'm kind of older, and back then they didn't really have PCs, so the first thing I played was Atari, and then Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that. I would switch to PC majorly like I don't know, after PlayStation 1, around there, maybe.
Okay, so you were, what were you playing back then? Like Half-Life or CS, or what was the big thing back? Like, I'm just trying to think of what I was playing around that time.
Well, I mean, my friend had a computer, and the first PC game I really got into was Aces Over the Pacific, which is why I play Inverted, which a lot of people think is crazy, but Flight Sim, it was a Flight Sim, and Flight Sims by default are inverted controls.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So I played a lot of Aces Over the Pacific, and then Doom, of course, and 5 floppy disks, because didn't have hard drives back then, and
floppy disks,
and then and then Wolfenstein, and pretty much every big game after that.
Now I know I know because I've at one point on Instagram you did a video a while back of you like upgrading your PC. At the time it was a CPU upgrade, as I recall. What got you into the actual like building of the PCs? Was that a simultaneous thing? Like as soon as you got into playing, you got into building, or?
I think it's because my friend was building them, and he taught me, and ever since then I just built like every computer that I use and family members use and friends use. I've built a lot of computers now, probably like over 20 or something.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd be the go-to guy for like anyone in your like circle of like people you know.
Yeah,
like, oh, okay,
for sure. The only annoying part, though, of building computers is you're like the tech support. So they always call you, and it's like, how do you copy and paste, and stuff like that. So.
Hey Ash, how's it going?
I got that as a kid a lot. They're like, how'd you fix this? I was like, I literally just turned it off, and then it came back on, and then it worked.
Yeah, that's a classic story
black.
from everybody here in the
Power
PC
button.
building community. Like everybody's the tech support for all their friends and stuff like that. Just like from then on out.
Wait, so how did you originally get like Atari and NES? Did you have to like beg your parents? Do you have siblings that play, or?
My grandparents bought the Atari because they're just like, shut this kid up. He could buy this thing, it'll entertain him forever or whatever. And I don't remember the Nintendo. I don't remember having to like beg or anything for it. I mean, my parents were very generous to me. Like usually when I wanted something, they, for the most part, got it for me, which was very nice.
I feel like that's the opposite of a lot of kids nowadays. When they're like, "Hey, I want this Wii, or I want the Switch." I'm like, $400? Not in this economy. And they're like, "All right, pick something else."
I mean, I wasn't like super spoiled, but yeah.
Could be everybody right now. Gonna get a Switch? Get a Switch.
Alpha male demands. Must be nice. Sorry,
So,
I mean to divert from the PC talk.
No, not at all. Not at all. Don't worry about it. So in the like, I know you are a variety streamer, of course, but I've noticed you've been seeming to focus on FPS games and things of the sort, and also a bit of like looter and survival style games. How did you get from playing Doom and stuff like that into what you play now? What's a bit of your gaming history?
Well, I was really big into RPGs for a long time. I don't know if you remember a game called Ultima Online, but
yes.
that was like the first big like graphical MMO, and I played the living crap out of that, and then moved to EverQuest, played a ton of EverQuest, moved to World of Warcraft. So like I've been playing a lot of RPGs too. It's like FPS RPGs kind of like where I go, but a lot of MMOs in the past. I don't really like streaming MMOs, to be honest. Like there's just so much grinding and downtime, and I don't know, I just kind of like chilling and not having to worry about anything when I play those, really. And I don't know. What else?
We have not an audience question. We have more of an audience comment from Ash, who says, "Tell Didius I love him and that he's cute." This is sort of
with, he loves the attention.
Thanks, Ash.
This is a standard sort of question from Ash that we get a lot.
Okay,
The people
so-
we have on.
No, Neopets, not a real gamer. Did you ever play Neopets?
No, but I do I see someone saying no RuneScape, disgusting. I never knew about RuneScape until like 2 or 3 years ago, and
You didn't know about
I
left
definitely-
click simulator? And it's like, I'm gonna cut
I
this
did not.
ivy for 4 hours and do nothing but the one click.
I play it now. Got a bond active. Big into RuneScape actually. So
Have you maxed out any skills, or are you not at that point yet?
no, I have all quests complete, and I'm in like the 90s of a lot of skills, but I haven't like maxed anything yet.
So for those not
Pretty far into
familiar,
it.
with Ultima Online, talk about Ultima Online a little bit because that's a really interesting game historically.
Yeah, that was an awesome game. It's the whole reason like I kind of like Tarkov and games like that, because back in the day, games used to be like super hard and punishing, and Ultima Online was no different. When you died, you lost everything. Except in Ultima's case, there wasn't many like super rare items, so like dying wasn't like super huge deal. But yeah, it was an awesome game. Like it was kind of like you could have your own house, and you could decorate your house too, and so I had that whole aspect that tons of people like. But I was really into just killing people and taking their stuff. That was a fun part of it for me, which is again why Escape from Tarkov's great, because you get to kill people and take their stuff. So, but yeah, so EA eventually bought it in 1999, which is when I quit, because EA, they usually destroy most things they buy, but they totally destroyed Ultima Online by they split the world into 2 identical worlds, and one was called Trammel and one was called Felucia. I think that was right. And one was like PK and one was like Candyland, can't attack anyone, can't steal their loot. And everyone just played there, and it killed the game for me, so that's when I stopped playing Ultima.
I'm glad you brought that up because a lot of people think the EA thing is like a new thing because EA did publish a lot of great games back in the day, but like the idea of EA buying something and making it strange is not brand new.
It's not a new concept. It's more like for the people who didn't
27
know.
years.
We have a audience demand, which is ask him about DayZ. So, because I know you have a bit of a history with DayZ. So, how did you first find out about DayZ, and what's your history with that?
Probably. How did I find out about it? Actually, I don't really remember, but I've watched a whole lot more DayZ and played it. I've played it a fair bit, but I mostly liked watching it because it's a very slow game, like very, very slow. Yeah, I mean, Smoke was like my favorite streamer. I watched him tons and tons. So
I've not played it myself, but I've heard great things.
What's your favorite game to play on stream currently? Like, is there something that you just tend to really enjoy that you stream at the moment?
And if that's too hard of a question, you can do like favorite of all time and favorite currently, if that helps.
Right. Right now I don't really have a favorite. That's why I keep switching games like all the time. Historically, I guess it would be Escape from Tarkov. I played it like 6 months straight after the wipe in October, and it's gonna wipe again soon, so probably play it a ton. But I definitely get tired of the game and haven't touched it too much in a month plus. And back when I was like a super nobody streamer, I was playing a ton of a browser game called Survivio, and that's how like my stream kind of built from being one viewer to more than one viewer. So I played a lot of that. I would love to play that game, but it kind of died off a bit. And right now it has like a huge hacker problem. I don't play it too much anymore. Just every Monday on YouTube because I love that community, so I keep supporting it. But I don't play it on Twitch anymore.
Okay, so you mentioned you actually watched a lot of DayZ. Did you come to Twitch first as a viewer? Did you jump directly into streaming, or like what was your relationship to Twitch like prior?
Most definitely a viewer. I first saw speedrunners, and I was like, those people, for the most part, are like all super nice, and like I was just like, how are these people playing all these like super old games and just playing them over and over and over and like making a living and being so nice and awesome, and it's just like it blew my mind. It totally blew my mind. And that's how I got into Twitch and branched out from there, just watching everything Twitch. Twitch has been like a major source of entertainment for me for, I don't know, 8 years or something, 7, 8 years. And unlike most people, I actually stopped streaming for a few years. I streamed like 5 years ago and took a long break. I just kept watching Twitch. A lot of times when people quit streaming, they just like disappear, but I'm definitely still part of like communities and stuff. That was a little bit of a tangent though.
No worries.
No, it's all good.
As many tangents as you want. Seriously, it's all good.
You are our special guest.
Do you remember what games you were originally watching that were being speedrun that got you into Twitch? Like you mentioned, like older games, so like just.
Yeah, like everything old that when I was a kid, kicked my butt, you know, and because I was didn't have much IQ back then, I guess. Couldn't figure out games.
Well,
and,
to be fair, to speedrun games, it's like you got to think of stuff that like nobody thinks of. Well, like I guess that's more like for like games now, because like there's so many strats of like glitching through walls and like finding like how to break AI and stuff like that. But I imagine with older games, it's much more straightforward and.
But a lot of those old games have a lot of glitches. Actually, it's surprising how broken most video games that are released are, and you never run into them like just casually playing them, but. The speedrunners, they spend like all day just trying to find how to break games, so they figure out all the little glitches.
That's something that I actually end up, because I watch a lot of Games Done Quick, especially during like their 2 events that they do every year, and it's so interesting to watch them talk about it, like in terms of like, yeah, you just gotta go through this. There's a little glitch part right here. It's really difficult to get, so you have to jump from like all the way up here just so you can clip through the wall, and then you're at the end of the level. And it makes me think like, oh my god, like 8-year-old me would be going nuts at some of these things. Like some of these games that took me so long to beat, and these speedrunners are doing it in like an hour basically. Yeah.
It's like
I saw like
24 hours in this game. He beat it in 32 minutes. What the?
I mean, like because I'm not a Bloodborne player, but like I think I watched somebody beat Bloodborne, and they did all of the bosses in 2 hours. It was probably I think.
Jesus Here's Toast.
It was 2 hours. Watch somebody do Untitled Goose Game in a minute. I think
that was great. Yeah, it was a 50-second speed run. They we watched a Miss speed run as well, which was hilarious because that game is not trivial, and someone beat it in like 30 seconds. It's like, oh.
Like they're really interesting to watch. So like I totally get that.
Hey Megan, how are you?
So Didius, I guess the reason Ash wanted to ask you about DayZ is because apparently that's how you guys met. Which was going to be one of my questions, like how did you meet Ash and like how did you get into the community? I'm assuming it was because of like Tarkov or.
No, it's because I was a big viewer of Smoke, and he raided me one day, and she was part of the raid, and that's how we met. Like,
I'm so sorry.
Well, I mean, actually, there's more to that. There's more to that story, I guess. I should say. I like I said, I watched Smoke a lot, and she was around in Smoke's community, and when he was playing Tarkov a lot. She would always come in and be like, "Oh, it's the light bulb game again," because there's a big light bulb on the main menu screen of Tarkov. And so when Smoke raided me and she was in chat, I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you. It's light bulb game, you know." There. And that was pretty much it.
So, rewinding from that a bit, because you mentioned you had streamed for like quite some time ago and then taken a break.
Yeah.
What made you want to be like someone who streamed? Like, what made you take that leap? Was it watching the creators you really enjoyed?
Can't even remember. I was really addicted to Dota 2, and for some reason I just decided to start streaming it. Like I was a Twitch viewer for years before that, and I don't really know why I started streaming Dota 2, but I did. And over like 2 months of streaming it like every day, I had like 50 followers, and still no viewers. and
yeah.
And I just started streaming other stuff. Like I just went variety from there, and streamed another like 6 months with very little followers or viewers until I started playing Armor 3 Life, which is like the predecessor of GTA RP. And then lots of people started watching me. But then I quit streaming, and like the 600 followers I had back then, I never saw them again. So
that's kind of sad. They
Would you recognize their like name, their like usernames if you saw them now? And like,
Some of them for sure, but I mean that's like a classic streamer thing. Like
yeah,
you take 10 days off and people stop coming. You know?
right, yeah, true.
they
yeah,
forget
yeah.
about you, and it's just like, dude, I was only gone
Okay.
for like 10 days. It's like,
And I
So
left for like 2.5 years. So yeah.
the Dota thing, were you a Warcraft 3 player? Like, did you play the original Defense of the Ancients mod, or where did you start with Dota?
I don't remember playing the mod, but I definitely played a ton of mods, just random, custom games, in Warcraft 3. I might have played the original mod. I just don't remember. I was kind of young then, I guess. And I don't know how I got into Dota 2 either. I just like started playing it because it was free and fell in love with it, and then ended up hating it.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair.
I feel like that's the cycle for a lot of games.
That's
It's like,
the
oh, I
MOBA
love
cycle.
this, and then like it's like, oh fuck, and it's like, I hate this game. And then,
Yeah. It starts with loving it, and then addiction, and then quitting it forever, and never thinking about it ever again. And that's how MOBAs get made.
yes.
Do you
Oh,
remember
yes.
do you remember like your very first stream and what that was like, or like the early days of streaming?
Since I started up, I remember like everything. But 5 years ago, when I first started, I don't remember. I know I got a very scuffed stream, and I just didn't care. And Twitch was very different back then, because there was like no affiliate, no Twitch Prime, no bits, like 500 concurrent for partner or something like that, something crazy. And yeah, that was like my earliest memories. I still had a scuffed stream when I started again like 2.5 years ago. But over time, just slowly got better.
So you've been on Twitch for a while. I imagine you were on when it was still Justin TV.
I came like right after that. But
Oh, okay, so
Justin
you
TV still existed, so I remember watching some of Justin TV, but it was just like, there's just people like chilling in their bedroom talking to people. But I didn't watch too much of it. I guess gaming was on there. I don't remember.
So right now I know that before we had you on, we were like trying to figure out if your hair was gonna be back by then. So what was the reasoning behind like just shaving your head? Was it because you've met a goal, or like
Shaving my head? Oh yeah. When they released the channel point thing, I was like, 1,000,000 channel points, shave head.
Oh.
And that was pretty much it. But 1,000,000 is like out of reach for everyone, so I changed it to 100,000 redemptions, and that happened eventually. It took from October to I think January for people to get that much.
Or like
But it
separate people individually
Yeah.
doing that, like contributing towards the goal. Oh,
Right, yeah.
Are you ever concerned that many people wanted to see you shave your head, or like?
Cutting hair off your body is like really good content. I don't know what it is, but people love it like so much.
I gotta rewriting this shit down.
We all gotta take notes because like
this is
apparently
the
like,
next big step I need.
So it's like my beard trimmer's coming
Yeah.
in tomorrow. I
Yeah,
can do it on
literally.
stream.
Yeah.
I made the title based on that Twitter video you pinned, which was like the secret to interacting with chat, and like that was the video. Did you shave your hand? I was like, what? And I was like, why are people so livid over like this?
I made it as a joke, and then like I just look around Twitch all the time. It's like people just love when the streamer shaves their head. I know this one guy who got something like 500 subs, and they wanted him to shave his head. So yep, he shaved his head. Another guy who's banned off Twitch now permanently. He used to get like $1,000 every time to shave his head. But I think he ate it too, which is a little different. But
Yeah,
I'm sorry, wait, what?
Oh,
Yay.
wait. Like he
Wow.
shaved and then he ate his hair?
yeah, you like put it on toast and then eat it.
No,
That's
that's not a thing.
okay.
Oh
They
my
deserve to
God.
buy that or ban that guy. I was like,
Oh.
And then
I
throw
didn't.
it
That
up
was not
after
what I.
stream.
That was some M Night Shyamalan shit right there. I
yeah,
was
like, when you started that story, I didn't think it was gonna go to where it went.
Twitch is a wild place, guys.
I
Oh, yeah.
appreciate that, Megan. I appreciate the support for the Rory trims his beard on stream movement. That's.
I feel like you being on Twitch this long, you probably have seen like even crazier things than that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like 5 years ago or longer, the rules were much different. You know, like for instance, you know, guys didn't have to wear shirts, so there'd be shirtless dudes playing games all the time, everywhere. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that happens still. You know, small streamers, they don't really get banned, and because the process, you have to have a lot of people report you generally. So there's some like weird stuff that happens sometimes. I don't know. I mean, like pretty much everything happens on Twitch, you know.
We didn't want to bring up like any PTSD memories you had that you saw and like you didn't want to remember. You're like, I can't remember.
I was like, oh god, I remember that.
Oh man, I'm starting to wonder now about
Okay,
Twitch
so
if you go in.
That actually kind of for me sparked a question for you. So you've been on here for a while. So this, I guess, would be like our question. What do you think is like one of the better changes that have happened in Twitch over the years, and then maybe what's one that's not so great change that you've seen?
Yeah, maybe like one change you agree with and one that you don't really like, not so much agree with.
I mean, I mean, bringing an affiliate in was amazing because, like I said, back in the day, there's no support structure until like 500 concurrent or something. So it was basically just, you know, I mean, there's nothing. But now it's more of like this like hill you can climb instead of like trying to go up a cliff. But I'd also like to see something more between like affiliate and partner because there's not much. They did add like, you know, get subs to get more subscriber emotes up to 5 as, you know, tier 1 subs emotes and some other stuff, but there should be some more steps, I think. And I don't know if this is a change, but man, the mod team is so inconsistent on Twitch. It drives me insane. I see it like all over the place, like one person being banned for one thing and the other person, they just don't care, you know.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah, like consistency and enforcing rules.
Yeah,
You've been on Twitch for about 8 years. Is that what you said?
Something like that. Maybe 7. I don't.
A long time.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Gandalf.
All right, you just got referred to the Gandalf of Twitch. I don't know. You can take that as you will. I'd take it as a compliment because, you know, it's Gandalf.
So, Didius, you've been around streaming a bunch of different games for a while now. Talk about your like improved production, because I know you have a 2020 and I see a pair of Sennheiser headphones, I think, that you're wearing right now. I imagine you did not start out with a 2020 and Sennheiser headphones. How has your like production evolved over time?
Right. Evolved a ton. Like 5 years ago, I was like the whole headset mic. I think I had a camera. Was it this camera? I don't even remember. But it was like audio was trash, video was pretty trash. I didn't really care because no one was watching anyway. But as more people watched, I cared more. Like 2.5 years ago when I started, I think I had a Blue Yeti because I saw a lot of streamers use it, and I was like, Blue Yeti must be great. But I didn't. It's not that great. It's okay, but I ended up eventually upgrading that to an AT 2020, which I like a lot better. But yeah, it's just like been slow grind. Like, you know, I'll watch my own videos and I'll be like, this sucks. Probably should change that eventually. And you know, 6 months later, I'll eventually change it because I don't know why I just not on top of things as much as I probably should be. But like first when I was using green screen, like lighting sucked. I had like I don't know if one's around here. I had like those like can lights from Home Depot, and it worked. It just wasn't good, you know? And and so I ended up upgrading that eventually. Got like some box lights, and then after box lights still wasn't that great. Got one of those ring lights, which was way better, super good. And mixers, but like super crappy mixer. At first I was using, you know, like USB mics, but USB mics for some reason just don't seem as good. They're
not
okay. Yeah. So eventually got like a super cheap mixer, and then it was like, oh man, we could go farther with this and buy a better mixer. And I don't know, just slowly upgrading. You know? Still have a lot to do.
So first of all, I agree with you. By the way, I actually don't like the Blue Yeti either. And when people are asking me about streaming equipment to start out with, I say actually like hold off on buying a Blue Yeti, save a little more money, and get something a lot better. Just in case there's anybody new here.
I made the mistake of getting Blue Yeti. I did that.
Like 75% of streamers do, right?
That's like
not being used.
That's like the guidelines for a lot of people. Like if you look up, like if you do a YouTube search, it's just like, oh, what equipment should I get? And it's always the same, like, oh, get a Blue Yeti,
God.
get an A220.
Oh yeah, every guy to ever see. Get a Blue Yeti, and I'm just stop it. The
I bought 6 Blue Yetis, and now I use them as cereal bowls. Nice science. I
don't want to get too much into like personal stuff, but for all I know, this is a viewer of yours that knows you really well, and I know for sure that I really like talking about my girlfriend, and so one of my viewers said, ask him about his new GF. So I'm not sure if someone's trying to like troll you, or I don't know what.
I can shoot them if you want.
When you know who's making an inside joke, do you want them shot? We can shoot them.
They're just trolling.
Okay, I got you.
I haven't known a touch of a woman in 5 or 6 years.
Nice shot, Trev. Good work.
No, don't ban him.
No, it's fine. It's shot.
Just delete the comment. That's all.
Okay.
Welcome back, Tim. It's good to see you. Keep your head down.
Yeah, drop some Fs in the chat.
Look, just don't ever dare insult our guests again, alright? You can troll him in his own chat, but here that shit don't fly.
On my desk.
Well, people troll me all the time, you know. I don't really care unless it's like ordering pizzas to my house that are unpaid for, which happened to me too many times. And
you were one of the people who was because I've seen that happen to a bunch of people. I didn't know that also happened to you. That sucks.
Yeah,
were they at least like good pizzas, or like were they just like trash ones? Or
no, they well, at first he was trying to like order me like extra larges, no cheese, no sauce, just pineapple. But the managers at the pizza place were like, this is not real. And so he got smarter because it was just a kid, and he got like someone in chat was helping him like as a joke because stupid. He was like, just you need to order normal stuff. So he started ordering normal stuff, but it's all unpaid, which is super annoying. But I don't know. It was just one guy. It was really.
Oh, really? Did you get like banned from like the takeaways? Because I've heard that happen to streamers where like if they call a takeaway now, they're like, no, like go to hell. Like we're not sending you any more of these.
Yeah, they get put on like a list, and like if there's something to hear, it's like don't like it's a troll or something.
Every time they came to my house, I told them to ban me, to blacklist me, and every time they would not blacklist me, and they would just be showing up again.
Wow.
Here you are.
You're a charismatic dude,
like... and they're like, "Nah, we'll keep going." It's like, what?
No.
So something I wanted to bring up, since you kind of mentioned it, was when we were talking about like stream, like not performance, but like review. It sounded like you like did your own like streamer review, and I feel like that's something that a lot more people need to do, and like. Is that something you originally started off doing, like on your own, or is that something that like one day you were just like, oh, I should probably, or someone pointed out to you, or?
I think it's more of like, there's something cool happened. I should go clip it, and I'm just, I just like see something. I'm like, oh, that needs to be changed. I don't do enough peer review myself. It's super, or not peer review, but reviewing my own things. It's super important and super useful. But it's like you gotta eat up a lot of time, doing it. It's actually really nice if you like make your own YouTube video highlights and stuff, because then you're like, oh, maybe like I should react this way when someone does this, because it would look a lot cooler in this compilation video or something, So definitely learn a lot about becoming a better streamer if you watch yourself, for sure. But I just kind of fell into it accidentally a little bit, and need to do it more. Don't do it enough.
I think that's how we were gonna start too. We were like, because originally when we first started doing this whole concept, like all the stuff we have up like wasn't there. We didn't like have any concept of like levels or like start screens, anything, like ending, whatever. But I think because we were all collectively like streamers, we kind of like knew what we had to like improve on and stuff. So
Yeah, I agree. Actually, yeah, I think that was a big part of it. Was that we had all spent so much time working on improving our own content that like working together to improve our together content was pretty natural. I wanted to ask you about something you mentioned earlier about taking you said you've been taking a month or more break from Tarkov, and I understand that the like post Tarkov medication you've been taking is Valorant. So talk a bit about Valorant. How is that?
Well, Valorant, and then
Which
today
I thought
was
the medication. When I first heard about that game, I was like, "Is Valorant a medication?"
Oh my god, Valorant does sound like something that would be like on a commercial.
Yeah,
Like, don't
exactly.
take this if you are close to death, but it's fine.
For me, it was a very stressful game. I don't know. 20 years ago, I got into Counter-Strike and been playing on and off like ever since. So Valorant's like 90% Counter-Strike, like pretty much a copy. So for me, it was like really fun to get back into it because it just reminded me of like first finding out about Counter-Strike. And I was just like, so I got really into Valorant, but I don't know, it's like really stressful playing sometimes. You know, it's like there's one, you're like the last guy left, and you have to like make this play, or else like everyone is like disappointed, and like it happens like every freaking game. So I don't know.
I imagine it's twice the pressure because you're a streamer as well. So when you stream it, it's like, oh, not only will my teammates be disappointed, but everyone in the chat's just gonna be like, when you get shot, and be like, ah, you suck, like get good, and like all like the troll shit that people put, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, I recently actually took like a 10-day break streaming, and it was mostly probably because of Valorant, because it was like, I don't know, I was just like super stressed and getting too into it and stuff. So it's not a good medicine. And actually, I played it yesterday, and I met a lot of cool people. It was a great game before competitive, the competitive mode. And yesterday, I've never run into so many like toxic and like disgusting human beings as I did playing Valorant yesterday. So I don't really want to play anymore, to be honest.
I saw that was your like tweet for today, and then you're like, oh, I'm playing Jedi Fallen Order because there are way too many toxic people.
It was so bad. Like, it's like I don't understand like how people like can be so disgusting.
Honestly, I think that's just the territory that comes with like online gaming with other people.
I think especially with that crew. Like,
yeah,
I think honestly, like people, well, like, you know, of course, like, obviously, I agree with Didius. From what I've seen of Valorant, it takes so much from CS. I wasn't a CSGO player, but I was a Source player. And but a lot of people see Riot Games, they're like, perfect, I love League of Legends, I'm going to hop on over to this. And if you've ever played a game of League of Legends, like, that also has the problem of everybody on your team is the most toxic human being you've ever met. Whether they can play or not, they could be some random asshole.
League is one of the most, if not the most toxic game that I've ever seen.
Worst one I've seen by far, honestly.
Before yesterday, it was Dota for me, but now, well, maybe COD, but now it's Valorant for sure. I played like 3 games in a row. It was just, you know, really bad stuff, like really bad. I was just shocked. I can't do it anymore. Like, I don't know how people like are like that.
See, that's what stops me from doing. I mean, because I know I could do like comp on like Overwatch, for example, but like why I don't even like playing in voice. Just sometimes I'll queue up by myself if I just feel like it, like every once in a while. But like I would only be in voice with just my friends because like I don't think I would enjoy the game. Like I just wouldn't want to play it if I had to sit and listen to that all the time. Even when you're doing well, like somebody told Rory one time that he was doing really bad healing and he had like 18,000 healing in Overwatch.
Which is not I
was like, what sort of mercy mains are you used to playing with? Like, Jesus, like, I'm out here working my ass off. I have like 18,000 healing and 7 reses. Like,
and the guy was like, you're doing trash. I was like, what? Like, I think this comes with the territory, man. Like,
you need your team to win, so I just really don't understand why people want to like piss their team off, and then they get more upset that they're losing like even more now that they've like ruined the whole team vibe. You know, I don't know. They're all crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Megan, don't try to make heads or tails of it. It won't make any. The reason you don't understand it is because it doesn't make any sense. Why people would be toxic to their own team. There's no understanding it. But like seriously, like players who even if they don't know how to play, they'll try to lecture you about how to play. It's I don't get it.
And I find that like if somebody just talks to you like a normal person about like, oh well, you know, like it would be a lot better if you countered like this, if you use this for example, that works a lot better. Like just trying to be encouraging, like I find that is a lot better than somebody just being like, dude, you're trash, why aren't you doing it like this instead? Because I guarantee like 9 times out of 10 somebody's gonna hear that and they're just kind of gonna shut down a little bit and be like, I don't want to listen to this guy now.
Yeah.
Versus like if you're encouraging, you know, it might help a little bit more.
It's
but
the way you approach it also very important, because you can approach it one way and like people take it a certain way, and if you approach it like a toxic way, it's gonna be like, well, now I'm gonna throw, or like now I'm like not gonna do as well because I'm got this guy on my ass about, oh, you're like trash and you need to get 20 kills around. It's like I can't.
Well,
and that's why I just try to stay positive in games like that. Even when people are acting like that, I'll just be like, "Good game, guys."
Too, yeah. Even if someone's being like a total shithead, I'll still say GG when it's all said and done. Like for me, like I think part of it too is the team dynamic. Like I play fighting games, and in fighting games it's 1v1. And if your opponent is toxic to you, they can be toxic to you all they want. But if you beat them, like you've won at the end of the day. Like so they can't only say so much. But in a team game, people can be like, oh, we lost because of you, whether it had anything to do with you or not. Like people can still claim that, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. I think they can hide behind that, but people can't hide in the 1v1 matchup. If they lost, it's at the end of the day, it's because of something they did.
No, they can still hide in the 1v1. They can be like, oh well, my internet was acting, or I like this. Like,
right, like what happened the other night on Tekken. Yeah, where someone disappeared right as I was about to win the match. All of a sudden. Netcode was fine right up until that second.
Quit, no, like I uninstalled. It's like what?
The gaming can. I really like this comment from Megan, who says gaming can be great for mental health. Why ruin it for those who need the positivity? Exactly. That's 100%.
Well, because that's how I feel about it sometimes. For me, because like sometimes I'll just queue up on my own on like a certain game, or I'll just play a certain game because like maybe I'm feeling bad that day and I just want to get my mind off of stuff, and that can really help. Just seeing like an encouraging comment, like while you're like playing a game and maybe having a bad day, versus it's just gonna kind of ruin the rest of the person's day. Like if they're just trying to play and get their mind off of things, then somebody comes in, they're like, dude, you're really trash. And it's like, wow, thanks. I was already feeling bad enough. I just wanted to get my mind off stuff by playing video games. Thank you. I'm never gonna play this game again.
Sam says the positivity in gaming is in single player. I have to say that I do think there like, as much as I love my multiplayer games, like me and Morgan and Trev were playing Overwatch right before this started. I have to say that the single player communities and the support received in those. I mean, especially if you look at Animal Crossing right now and how many people that's helping out. Like, you know, in tricky times, I think, yes. Well, I guess that's also a multiplayer game in a way, but I think single player communities sometimes have a lot of positivity.
I think it more stems from the aspect of like competitiveness, because like Ninja was saying that like if you aren't like competitive or whatever, then it's like you're not a real gamer. So everyone took that to heart, and they were like, man, if we're not competitive and trying to be the best, then we're gonna disappoint Ninja. And like,
oh no,
guys, it's okay. You don't have to.
I was going strong right until I thought I was going to disappoint my friend Ninja, and then it's.
And see, like for me, I love to be encouraging, like because you know, like when I do like some of my multiplayer days, like I'll have people come in and play like Mario Kart with me, or like playing Splatoon. Sometimes they don't know how to play. Like I had one person the other day that had just gotten Mario Kart, and like they beat me, and I was like, oh my gosh, good job, you know, or like I'll try to say like, hey, so like on Splatoon, like you were doing it this way, like if you do it that way, like you might have a better chance at like beating this other enemy, right? Like, and I feel like that's better sometimes, like just because like if you're encouraging, then you're still having fun playing the game, and if you just are a good sport about stuff, it doesn't make losing feel as bad, you know? or it doesn't make you feel as bad at all, if anything, if you just
Absolutely.
be encouraging and positive.
But we were talking about this. Me and Morgan had a conversation about this like last night. How it's you should want other people to get better and beat you, because then that will help you play and become a better player yourself. Losing is actually valuable, and you should cherish it, as strange as that sounds. Ash said, "I've never seen Didius mad." So my question for Didius is Ash wrong?
Didius, do you get mad?
Oh, for sure. Actually, for the first like large chunk of streaming, I never got mad until I played Jump Kings, and then made like the rage content kind of like grew in me, and I definitely get mad now. I kind of like before I wouldn't get mad too often, or if I did, I'd kind of like just suppress it. But now, like when I have like a rage feeling or mad, I kind of embrace it for content. So
So that explains why 8,000 people were asking him about
the Jump King. Yeah, I was holding off because I thought I was getting trolled again. But you brought it up. Well, what is Jump King? What's going on?
Oh my god, it's an evil game.
Is it kind of? It sounds like Getting Over It, or that one game that like everyone was
Yes,
playing
it
at
is
some
like
point.
Getting Over It, except Getting Over It has like a really unique like movement system, and there's like checkpoints in Getting Over It where like it's really hard to fall to the end of the level, or like at the beginning of the game. I mean, Jump Kings is like there's like one hard checkpoint maybe in the whole game, or depends which one you're talking about. And most of the falls are like, hey, go back, to the beginning of the game or close to it, and it's a nightmare.
It kind of reminds me, because it's a bit like retro looking. It reminds me of like Shovel Knight a bit.
Oh, I know what this is.
I'm looking it up.
Well, the gameplay is just you start at the bottom and you jump to the top. There's no other gameplay. It's jumping.
It's just
And,
jumping.
Yeah, this
Literally
even to a
just
friend of
jumping.
mine is like an assignment was recreate Jump King. Actually, it's like by our supervisor. That's what he had to do. I don't know if he did.
This kind of reminds me of that one game that everyone says is like a Dark Souls side scroller.
The controls
like
are pretty
that.
frustrating. You can't walk left or right. You have to just use jumping, and
It's
and
just jumping.
how
Wow.
long you hold your space bar is like how far you jump, and there's like a minimum jump and a maximum jump, and then there's
This
jumps in
reminds me of
between. And
Flappy Bird, like when everyone was
And
like,
you pretty
losing
much
their
Oh
end
shit.
up-
god.
it's terrible. You end up like failing every jump 1,000 times until like you pretty much memorize exactly how to do the jump, and that's for like every jump in the game. And you getting back to the jump to like fail it again to rejump. It drive you insane. Yep.
I mean, that is the definition of insanity. You keep trying something, expecting a different
Oh, boy.
result. So
It's a hard game.
So wait, was that the first stream game that you rage quit? Did you actually fully rage quit?
Yeah, I never finished it. I beat like the first one, which I thought was not so bad. It was so Getting Over It took like me like 6 or 8 hours or something, which was really nice. So, you beat it in a day. It wasn't like super difficult. But Jump Kings took like multiple days, and the first one, like, it's totally doable. It's not it's terrible, but it's doable. But then like they like kept expanding it and adding like new maps, and it's too hard. If you could beat all of them, like I guess you're a god gamer.
Oh, hey,
I
Party,
don't
what's
recommend it.
I mean, that says a lot for someone who like loves like the punishing nature of Tarkov. To say that like you're willing to put yourself through that, losing the loot, whatever. But then to say Jump King is like that's another step beyond that.
Some people love that punishment. It doesn't anger them whatsoever. Like there's I Want to Be the Boshi's like a good example. It has a big community around it, and it's a very punishing game, and just people like the challenge, and they won't get mad over falling down to the bottom 1,000 times. But eventually it gets to me. That's all I can tell you.
I feel like everyone can like start off with like a strong reserve, like this is not gonna get to me, and then after like 800 deaths, they're like, it's not getting to me, and then like after like that next one, there's like, fuck this game, uninstalling.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had viewers that are like, it's not that bad, and they buy it, and like, I'm like, so how's it going? It's like, just not playing it anymore after like 10 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. I don't recommend the game unless you're into
Oh,
that
so
kind of
after
thing.
that, all
You're
that
just
you don't
Didius,
recommend
and I
it?
love
Okay.
you.
I don't recommend anyone play that. It's just
You
it's
wouldn't
too much
subject that
pain.
to your worst enemies. Just like, hey, if you want a real fun time, then you play Jump King. I'm gonna like go around and like troll people with that now. Like, when people are looking for just suggestions for games, and be like, hey, you should play this great game called Jump King.
Oh God. I
Everyone's
should tell
gotta
my
do it
brother
now.
about it and be like, "Hey, it's like Shovel Knight. He's obsessed with Shovel Knight."
He might. Yeah, he might like it.
So I know today that you started Fallen Order. I only know that because you
Yeah,
rated Ash earlier, and
I started it yesterday because I was gonna do my Valorant placements because I took a break streaming. And I was like, competitive mode. I like Valorant. People are nice, but yeah.
Yeah,
what
once that all
happened
spanned
earlier-
out, you're like, oh.
Yeah, take it
Yeah,
easy.
sorry.
Have a great rest of your night. I'm looking forward to playing games with you tomorrow.
Is Jedi Fallen Order like one of the first, or if not like the first game you've streamed of that like caliber on stream? Like more like a actiony RPG, like Souls type. Like, I know they refer to it as a Souls type game, but like, is that the first time you've done anything like that on stream, or have you played?
Yeah,
like,
are you,
previous,
Are you playing it like it's a like Dark Souls type difficulty also, or are you playing it on like more of a middle difficulty?
I have it on Jedi Master. So far,
Okay, yeah.
which is the hardest difficulty. So far, I die a lot sometimes, but it doesn't seem like that overly hard. Not compared to like Dark Souls. That was like much harder, cause like you lose your experience when you die in Jedi Master, but you can just go hit the guy and get it back. It doesn't seem nearly as punishing of a game.
What's your history with? Do you have a history with Star Wars games or the Star Wars universe at all?
Yeah, I've played a ton of them, mostly older ones like
Jedi Knight 2?
Jedi Knight. Yeah, I definitely played Jedi Knight. I remember playing in a LAN in high school. Jedi Knight, maybe not 2, but 1.
Yeah. That was a popular LAN. We used to play Jedi Academy at LAN parties for sure. Like me and people I would do that with.
I remember people get mad at me because I'd shoot them with guns and they want to like fight with lightsabers and stuff. I was like, "Well, you're far away and I could kill you, so I just shoot you." But
they should have used the Force more and just been like.
Oh, Ash, that was mean.
Yeah, I feel like once you beat Skira, you're fine for like anything.
Sekiro is really hard, much harder than the Star Wars game.
What on Sekiro? Just because I've seen like a
I don't
bunch
know
of
what
other
that
people
game
play
is. What is that game?
I swear.
Someone explained it.
It totally doesn't have the collector's edition for it. So
Statues,
when
totally
you played it, what was one of the hardest enemy that you fought? Like, what do you think was the hardest one?
In Sekiro?
Yeah.
The last boss probably took me the
Yeah.
longest, I think. Maybe, or when you first fight that dude in the Tower of the Lightning. That guy was pretty hard too.
I can remember watching my brother play because I was over at his house one time when he was playing it, and he was up against that giant gorilla with the sword in
Oh,
its
the headless aim. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Harambe fight.
I can remember
I
watching
did not
him
enjoy
play
that
it,
fight.
and he beat it, and he's like, finally, because like he took him a long time. He's like, I finally did it, and then it picked its head up.
Yeah, and then just keep
He's like-
going.
that part pissed a lot of people off because they're like,
That was the
"Yay!"
biggest debate ever. You're like, all right, finally, I killed this thing, and then like it gets up and it's like, it's like.
Some of the
Yeah.
compilations of those on like YouTube are absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I highly recommend you look them up if you haven't already in the chat. They're actually really funny.
Man, when I played that game after I beat it, I was like, "Game of the year!" I freaking love that game, but it was very challenging game, like kind of a nightmare at times, but it was an awesome game, well designed.
So, are you a Siege player as well? Because
there's like a few really popular games that I never got into, and one is Siege, and I played like 2 free weekends and didn't really like it. I know like
is it in click for you?
Everybody. Nah, I don't know. I just can't get into it. I can't really get into watching it much either. There's something about like every time I turn on a stream and they're leaning and like pixel shooting people. Like there's something I just can't get into it. I don't know.
Because I know a lot of like CS players are either like really good at Siege or like they just like hate it entirely. So I didn't know where you stood on that.
I haven't played it enough to like really be opinionated about it, but I just had no desire to. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Yes, players just think Valorant.
Is there a game that you haven't played but you would like to try to get into? You just haven't gotten to it yet?
It could be something in like your backlog or like something like you saw and was like, oh, I should try this, and like never ended up trying it. Or
well, just recently, there's free shards or free servers for Ashran's Call, and never played it when I was younger, which is one of the big MMO RPGs back in the day. And I played like all of them, and I missed Ashran's Call, so I wouldn't mind getting into that. It's something that I would never stream, but it'd be cool to play. And probably has like almost no audience to watch. But
yeah.
That was actually a question that I was going to ask was like, do you only play games on stream, or do you kind of save certain games for off stream, and like how do you kind of decide that?
Right. For a long time, for a while, I was just gaming on stream and like giving the stream like everything I got. And more recently, I've been playing games a lot more off stream. And there's definitely specific games that I just don't really want to stream that much, like MMOs and stuff. Like I played EverQuest again, maybe like 2 years ago on a free server. That has like the 1999 rules. That goes back to I'm a big nerd. I play a lot of games, but yeah,
we all are too. It's fine. You're among the same kind of people.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. Like I was saying earlier, I guess it's just like games that have like lots of downtime. I don't like to play as much, and having like a super active chat makes those games like awesome. But the chat's not always like super active, and so I usually go away from like games that have too much downtime or too much like grinding the same thing, which is the same kind of downtime thing.
That makes
like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because sometimes I think it depends on the game. Because like I feel like games like Stardew Valley and like Animal Crossing, where they're meant to have like a lot of, because I wouldn't exactly call it downtime, I guess, but like a lot of like relaxing kind of things happening. People just like kind of know what they're getting into. I can remember when I was streaming Persona 5, and even though people liked it, I can remember thinking, oh my god, this is taking so long to do, because there were times where like you would finish the dungeon, but if you finished it really quick, then you had to still get to the to like the end of the calendar time, like for when you could go forward. And I was like, okay, so I don't want to just waste all of this time, because if I do that, it'll hurt me later in the game. So I have to do like all of this stuff, like go day by day while trying to get to the next part of the game. And I can remember just thinking, this isn't exactly the best game to be playing on stream, because it takes a long time to get to the next dungeon, which is, like that's like what you think is like, I guess like there's more to do in that, you know what I mean? So like I understand that.
I think for me, the best games are the games that have optional downtime where you like can stop the action. Like I think what Morgan said about Animal Crossing is a great example of that. Like you can keep doing things in Animal Crossing, but you can also like pause for a second, read chat. Like same thing in like most stealth games I play. You can just like hide in a bush and be like, okay, I only read this big long chat thing that someone posted and respond to it.
Tarkov hiding in a bush and reading chat. That's a great thing to do.
That's how it's done in the Tarkov world.
Well, that's how I do it sometimes.
Fair play.
So this might be like kind of like a tough or like not really like it's not gonna be controversial, but like it might be like a harder question to answer. But I know you were saying a lot like the games you don't stream because like you either feel like there's too much downtime or like it would affect like chat or whatever. But are you one of those people? Because I know there's two camps of like streamers. There's streamers that play what they want no matter like what, and they don't care about like chat interaction, or like they're like if they're bored they're fine, like they'll talk about other things. Or are you like someone who's more focused on interacting, and like even though it may not be like something you want to play necessarily, but you know it'd be like a great interaction with like chat and stuff? Are you one or more the other camp, or are you a mix of both? Or
Well, ideally, I would only want play what I want to play and not really care about anything else. But it's very in my mind, like, you know, if people are going to enjoy watching it and if chat's going to be active and all that stuff, like, definitely take that into account. And sometimes I play things I don't want to play because people want to watch it. So I'm all over the place, really. But in an ideal world, I would stream very boring things, probably. But yeah, it's just not good to watch, so.
What would be your like ideal streaming? Like if you could just say like any game you play is you could pick what like the most popular game. It would get a ton of viewers. Like just based on what you would want to play. If it was you know,
like what's your like dream?
You could have your way, you know, and everybody would want to watch it. What would you play?
Well, I don't know if I have one game. I'd probably play lots of like random old things, like Ashman's Call. Like I just recently found out that was back, and I would love to just sit down and play that for like a month or something. But I probably won't even play it on my off time because it's a grindy old MMO that is, you know, it's hard to get into unless you have like tons of free time. I'd play a lot of stuff like that, just like random old things or even new things that are not very interesting to other people but might be interesting to me. Specifically though, like I can't think of like a lot of cases like just be a variety streamer. Hey, variety is like impossible. I don't know.
As we're on the team, true variety.
We're committed. We're committed to variety.
I do it, but it's like it's pretty hard.
Oh God, Trev. Now Trev's firing back.
Look, she came at me, alright? So shit doesn't go
I mean, games
unallowed.
I might consider not great stream games and are boring and stuff. Like streamers could pull it off, and some people do it with lots of viewers and stuff. But I know I can't. Like, there's EverQuest streamers that have lots of viewers, and that's a super boring, grindy game that I like playing or used to like playing. Could still play maybe, but I totally could never stream it. At least I don't think I could. I don't know. Maybe I don't have enough belief in myself, but I just
give it a go.
Yeah, because I feel like it's one of those things that you won't ever know until you try.
I believe for you. I was actually thinking when you were saying about all the the games you had played and stuff like that, like what people call now retro games. I don't like calling games like Doom retro games because that makes me feel old. But for what people call retro games, I was surprised you don't stream a little more of them. I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life. Don't get me wrong. I just think it'd be cool.
Wait, holy shit!
Some of it has to do with some of it has to do with my history of streaming, like 5 years ago, and even 2.5 years ago when I had no viewers. I'm like, well, I tried that, it didn't work.
Yeah.
So I don't like. I have like kind of PTSD type feeling about a lot of games and stuff. Which, if I did the same thing now, it'd be better because I've like met a lot of people and a lot more people follow and stuff. But still, I still get it because I don't know. Like for me, when chat dies, like I kind of die, and I need chat to be active. And even like if I could be like successful and have people talking and enjoying stream playing certain games, I just won't do it because I know chat's gonna be dead.
Right. Yeah.
I need chat. I don't know. Like I'll die in games. Yeah, I'll die in games because I'm like reading chat. Chat's everything to me, at least. I know some people chat like they just don't care about chat or will read it like after games and stuff like that. But I need chat. I don't know.
A lot of big streamers, I think, like that I've seen, like it amazes me they keep up energy without chat, because of course their chat is so busy, there effectively might as well not even be a chat because you can't read anything in it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, you stayed energized for this 8 hours and read a passing comment every now and again. I'm like, damn, I wouldn't be able to do it.
I think it's a little different for them though, because they'll do something and they'll see how fast it moves, and then they know they're doing good. You know, they're just like the energy
usually
of the chat
it's just
with
pog,
the speed of
champ
it.
and
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah, right.
like,
That's actually, and I actually like. I'll definitely admit to the same thing Ash just admit. Like, chat is like a huge crutch for me in streaming. You know, like I was blessed to know people before I started streaming that like were always there in my chat, like Trev and Morgan. Were there like every stream, so I've never had to like
number one
go without chat. But like, ooh, like if I had to, I honestly couldn't even imagine doing it. Also, I just want to point out what Zippy said. Zippy said, "So wait, Ash is getting in arguments on the podcast, which she isn't even a guest." I just want to say that it's not my fault this time, and I just want that put out there, okay?
I streamed thousands of hours with no chat, so I'm very like aware of that situation. And Podon is pretty much my only viewer for a long time too, so he's amazing.
So
how did you personally like push past that, like mentally, if chat isn't active, like especially in the earlier days, like how do you keep yourself going, or how did you keep yourself going if it's not?
yeah, how do you keep yourself like inspired and like power through? Or were there times where you just like saw that like nothing was going on and like you like ended abruptly? Or
Oh, I've done that for sure, but it's mostly just I'm very stubborn, you know, like it's not working or it won't work, just keep doing it. Maybe that's also insanity, I don't know, but I don't know. Well, for first it started for fun. Like there's a whole difference about streaming like for fun and then like streaming for a living. It's like totally different world. And for a while it was just for fun, so it doesn't matter at all. But when it's like for money or like maybe you rely on it, it's like things are very, very different. At least to me, I don't know.
so I know, kind of rewinding, this is gonna be like something you said way like in the beginning. You said that you like made YouTube content. Would the games that you consider not to be like stream games do you make YouTube content out of that, or like?
It's a very good idea too. Editing just it's not something I like to do. I wish I had like tons of money and just be like, hey editor, videos, do them, you know, like be so awesome. It's so fantastic. I see like big streamers do it, I'm like, oh man, that must be nice. That's like, it's such a sweet life, you know. But yeah, it's just mostly because I don't like editing that much that I don't do it.
Well,
But
I mean,
definitely
I've seen like
should do
two camps for like YouTube. And, like I've seen the ones that are like edited heavily and like cut out a lot of stuff, and then I've seen one where it's like, because I think Lobos does it, where he just uploads his entire VOD or like whatever he streamed that entire time, whether it be 8 hours, 12 hours, 4 hours. And then I've seen other people who like only take the exciting parts or like the stuff that's going on in game where it's like something's actually happening. But
Right. Well, I think if you have a huge following, you could put whatever you want on there, and that's why some big guys like they'll just have very little edits and it'll do really well. But as like a very small person with not much of support, like that won't go anywhere really. But same with edited videos, it could be hard too. I don't know. I sometimes I'm like, oh, I just really need to do YouTube and edit a lot, and then it just doesn't go very far, so I get tired of it. Plus, it takes so many hours. Like,
yeah,
depending on how
editing
you
does
edit
take
it.
a long time.
It's like maybe 4 to 6 hours of video for me, and it's just too much generally. Sometimes I have the energy for it. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't. I don't know, do any of you do YouTube content?
Every so often.
This actually, but not like this all gets posted to
besides-
YouTube, but that's mostly a convenience thing because like we knew there were people watching the VODs back after, and we were like, well, watching VODs on Twitch is like one of the more
Yeah, it's
unpleasant
trash.
things you can do
So,
in your
like,
day.
we were
So like to avoid
cool,
that,
we'll put it on
like just
YouTube.
upload it all to YouTube. I've like contemplated like I have a YouTube channel for my streams, but like I don't know. I don't know if I'm really comfortable just uploading a full like unedited 4-hour stream. You know what I mean? Like it just feels. And especially knowing that the beginning is going to be me like, okay, guys, how's the game sound? You want it up a little bit? You want it down a little bit? Like me, like troubleshooting every day, every time I'm playing a new game. And I'm like, if I was watching that on YouTube, I wouldn't deal with that for 2.5 minutes. So,
There's
until I get to a stage where I can highlight stuff or hire a human, I don't know if it might be tricky.
So like I'm kind of in the same boat as you. With like YouTube stuff, like I used to do a lot more of it, but like again, I have like the whole Adobe ecosystem, so I have like Photoshop, so I can make thumbnails, do whatever. I have Premiere, so I can like actually edit, and then I have After Effects in case I want to like throw some cool shit in. But like going from one to the other to the next is like a whole 8-hour process, just like waiting stuff for rendering and I've been doing editing and stuff for a long time, since I was in like high school. So if it's not done the way I want it to, then it annoys me, and I need it done like to the T on how I want stuff done. So that adds on another like 2 hours, and it's just I used to put out a lot more gaming content on my like channel, but now I just mainly do like music montage videos that take like 2 hours because it's easier than doing more heavily edited stuff and like actual like recordings and like voiceover and stuff like that.
Ash asked a really good question, which is has your YouTube content encouraged viewers to come check you out on Twitch, and how do you feel about the like difference of interaction from like live stream to YouTube? I'm especially curious about this because you said you're a really chat reliant streamer.
Yeah, YouTube definitely. I see traffic. YouTube's a much larger platform in general for video content, and less. I guess it's less streaming, but it's definitely a bigger platform. So there's different people on it, and I definitely see those people converting to Twitch viewers, which is awesome. So I mean, it's totally worth doing. I think just time investment. And how do you feel about the different interaction from live stream to YouTube? Do you mean like comments, like YouTube comments, or?
Whether or not she meant YouTube comments, I'm actually curious about that too, because the YouTube comments have been known to be like, from what I hear about YouTubers, like especially like YouTubers who have like small to medium sized audiences, they have said that sometimes you put a YouTube video up and the first comment is someone negative. There's that one guy who comes like, "Hey, try aiming," or something like shitty like that. Like, have you ever had any experiences like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I delete comments quite often because not like super often, but people can be toxic on there, and there's also like the general advertising on there a lot too. But when I do live streams on YouTube, it's I don't know, it's a lot like Twitch, except for some reason YouTube, their emotes suck. Like they need to have better emotes.
YouTube called out.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Have you seen the YouTube Kappa emote? It's like. It's awful.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know YouTube streaming had emotes.
Yeah, I didn't know they had emotes.
I didn't know.
I'll be honest.
Oh, wait, I'm looking up YouTube Kappa right now.
Okay,
I'm still out of the loop. I gotta get that. Too.
They have a ton of emotes, but there's nothing really good. They're all bad, I'd say.
Because spamming gets you banned. I mean,
Wait,
to be
is
fair,
it a
spamming
dab
here
or an-
gets you banned.
They call it elbow cough, but are they sure it's not a dab? Because that looks like a dab.
It looks like
That's what so many people did, was like make a sneeze emote, and then they're like, no, it's a sneeze emote, not a dab. Like, I mean, it's the same shit. Like, unless it's a GIF where you just like, but still.
I literally didn't know that they had emotes.
I didn't know they had emotes either. I mean, it makes perfect sense now. But yeah, that's wild.
They have an interesting feature where you can change the skin color of an emote. I don't know if you see that, but
What?
Oh, really?
You mean like on like the Android or iPhone where you click it and then it's like, oh, do you want it to be like pale as fuck or like?
it might come straight from there. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, Megan. I think you're in the majority there, having never seen Mixer.
You know what I need to do is like,
I've gone there once.
I need to go and claim everyone's name on Mixer, so then that when they go and try to eventually, like if there's eventually a merge, like I'll own them all and then I'll sell them all out like 10 times.
Oh, that's a good.
Like I'll go make an account over there.
Trev's looking to make a lot of money off getting Summit 1G on Mixer.
I'll go there and I'll make an account, a girl in her games, and then be like, oh, do you want these accounts? Well, you're gonna have to forego.
Mixer has one feature that Twitch really needs, and it's when you go into a Mixer stream, you could see chat history. And I don't know why it's not on Twitch, because it'd be super useful. Because you just drop into a stream, you have no idea what people were talking about before you came, and most of the time people come in, at least this happens to me like all the time, people come in and are like, this stream is dead, even though there's like 10 messages like 30 seconds before, they just don't see them. Yeah, I would love a feature like that.
I know you can do something like that with like they have like chat bots and stuff, like not bots, but like there's like programs and stuff where like it tells you the whole catalog, but like that's if you have the specific one for that channel.
By default, it would be amazing. Although Mixer, I don't know why anyone would want to go to Mixer, because it's like such a small platform, but that's definitely like something I see on that platform that is awesome.
It wouldn't be a good idea for like chat history, because there have been a couple streams I've gone into and like I'm not like so I'm gonna call it Trinsic here, but I was in Ash's chat once and like I'd just gotten there, and then the first thing I saw from Trinsic was zombies and assholes, and I was like, okay, I was like, clearly something happened, like what? But I didn't know what was going on because there was no history, so all I had to go off was they're talking about zombies and assholes. I was like,
Yeah, especially as a mod too, it can be useful to see things. Like I know you can go back through like comment history of a specific user, but if you miss something, because sometimes if you're modding, you know, like sometimes you just got to go like get an apple juice, you know, or something, like, you know, and you might like, you know, if it's a really busy streamer, you might miss something that you might have otherwise wanted to catch. I have a question for you, Didius, actually, and it's okay if you don't answer it. I'll tell you beforehand. But do you have like a knee-jerk reaction, positive or negative, to the new Twitch channel layout?
I haven't really looked at it, to be honest. I keep seeing people say like, "Oh, this is awful," which people say every time.
Do you mean the dashboard one or
something.
the actual channel one they implemented? Because I know there's two different ones now.
Just the new channel look with like the trailer and the new layout.
I heard
me
there's
also,
a trailer now.
My first thing that I noticed was now that the like the name of the channel is not up at the top anymore, I instinctively want to try to scroll up, because I'm like, okay, I'm not.
Oh yeah, because it's you're like, I'm not at the top, but it's not up there.
It's YouTube style, really, I guess, right? Because YouTube always has the channel names below.
But I saw yesterday that someone was saying that now by the name it'll like have an uptime instead of having like your bot do it. Like
it does have an uptime now. Yeah, I really like that feature.
Yeah, that was kind of nice, actually.
Great addition, because then I don't have to check my Streamlabs or whatever and see how long I've been live. Because it seems weird, but like before I was like, who cares how long you've been live, like checking for yourself. And now that I'm a streamer, I like check it like all the time. I don't know why I care, but I do.
Well, it's nice for the viewers too, because you know, because I've had some people before where they're like, "Oh my gosh, like, am I late?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah,
like,
it's like
look
displayed
at the time
immediately instead of you having to do uptime or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a quality of life thing too, because it's like I feel like they should have had something like that beforehand, and like they only just put it up, and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah, Twitch was like very featureless when it came out, and they just let it, you know, why put it in yourself when people do it for you? Like, better Twitch TV. They didn't even have a dark mode until like what, a couple years ago. It's crazy.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine using something that didn't have dark mode.
I know.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I see. I'm pretty new to Twitch. I'm the newest to Twitch of anybody here, so I didn't even know there was.
If you use light mode in here, a psychopath. Like, speak now so I can shoot you.
And Twitch was like, we'll work on the back end, make the servers, make it all work well, and then do like nothing else. And that's how like they started, which has actually worked out really well for them. And selling it too, much more valuable company when you own all your own servers.
New Facebook has a dark
Oh,
mode. Do you know that because you're on Facebook Gaming, Eric?
I also just realized that, like, with the BTTV settings, I don't know if it's for anybody else, but I like having that little host button at the bottom, and it's not there for me anymore. I don't know if it's just.
I think the BTTV settings are broken with the new.
I think they need
the new
to,
UIs. Nippy's been having trouble with his. I know that for sure.
Because I still have the timeout, delete message. I still have all of those, but I loved having the host button just because it made it so easy to host people, and I hope they fix that.
So Ash doesn't like the sub alert. Is it Jason Derulo?
No, the Jason
It's
Derulo
Space
one
Jam.
is the host one. I don't understand why you would not like it if it was Space Jam.
Wait, Space Jam? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it too loud, Ash? Is that the problem, or I'm not taking any blame for this. This is all Trev. I'm just curious.
If it pisses people off, I'm gonna leave it.
Ash is just a Space Jam hater. I hadn't seen Space Jam until I met these friends here, and they showed me Space Jam, and I've now seen the light. And Space Jam is awesome. Y'all should watch it if you haven't.
She mad because she can't ball because she's 5'1".
Yeah, I heard about that about the website. Real cool guy. I thought that was hilarious. Ask Didius, is there any advice he would give to old Didius? If you could go back in time, give starting streaming Didius any advice. Ash, we're stealing this question for a future. It's ours now. Thank you.
All these Space Jam stands came out and she had nothing to say.
Not like simple stuff.
Like,
we'll definitely say all that stuff. There's a lot of things that I've grown like as a streamer that only comes with experience, I guess, or maybe if you're depends on your personality type, I guess. But there's things that I really didn't like about when I first started, I guess, personality wise, I suppose. Like when people would come in and advertise and stuff, like I would have like knee-jerk reactions to people when they do certain things that really didn't like matter, that I probably cared too much about, I guess. And one of them's like self-advertising. Like nowadays, I understand why people do it. They're lonely, they have 0 viewers, they want people to come talk to them, and I just don't like crap on them like I used to. I guess a lot of people crap on people like that, right? And there's a lot of things like that that just at first I was like not cool with, and now I'm cool with, and I wish I was cool with more things, I guess.
Have you been getting a lot of bots lately on Twitch? Because I know there's a couple that come out and they're like, oh, I love, and then they'll like insert your title and then like, I'll make panels for you, and then they'll be like, I love this game, and then like,
it's like, want to become famous?
Yeah, that, or like do you want to be famous? I can make you famous.
I think they target low viewer streamers because I never see them in mine, but every time I go into someone else's, I see one. Like a 1 viewer or something. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a high viewer streamer. I wasn't trying to
low key flex. You're just like, yeah, I've never experienced
but I haven't
that,
seen
bro.
them. But on the bot topic, like I get botted quite often, follow bot, view bot, stuff like that, because people watch and they either are like, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna help you out. Here's like 2,000 followers, and I'm like, God, it's so annoying. But
It's like, that doesn't help me out.
I know it's like,
It makes
doesn't
me
help
look
at all.
bad because I was like, I got all these people this one day, and now I'm going back to a fucking average.
Or the last person that did it was like, I was bored, so I wasted $10 on, or however much it was on. I think he threw me 2,000 followers, and I was like, great. My follow number is very fake. There's so many random followers stuff. I don't even know what my real number would be. Like, to be honest, it's probably low thousands or something.
Have you ever had a real person do it? We had that once on Morgan and Melly's channel. I'm a mod in both, but they were both streaming, and I was modding in Morgan's, and Trevor was modding in Melly's, and it was like a real human man who was like said, I don't know what he said in Melly's, but whatever it is, got banned for it, because then he came over to Morgan's and added me, was like, look, the mod in the other channel banned me. I'm just here for, I run a record label. I got 25 million subscribers. I didn't know record labels had subscribers, but whatever. And like, I'm here to like get these streamers involved in an opportunity where we will pay them.
Oh, I remember.
And it was not a bot. And then I like blocked him because he was being a fucker, and then he messaged me and was like, why did you ban me? Look, I like have a connection with Twitch. They're gonna unban me soon. I was like, sweet, I can't wait to see you again. Never seen him again. I think he was lying about his connection with Twitch.
Yeah, it was odd.
It's funny that there are real people doing it though, like actually like working on that hustle, like just sitting down, like not sending a bot after people.
I don't understand like the mindset of somebody who like sits down and is like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm going to like and bother people on Twitch. It's like, what?
yeah, literally, yeah.
What do you guys think about the people that make a account and they just use IRC to send in like everyone's channel, but they're never there? Like some big companies do, like Team Liquid and stuff.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Where there's someone just in everybody's channel every time, and yeah, it's I don't know. I know what it's for, right? Because it's to get the publicity, I think, and especially in smaller channels. Like,
do you mean like
I'm sure you guys here, like I do. I check my users in chat, right? And so I go into my users in chat. I'm like, who's here? Like, just as like some people are I'm calling the police.
I know two names that were like, I think one was electric skateboard or something like back in the day, and then another
electric longboard.
Yeah,
electric longboard is one of them. There's a streamer who does it, and I think that's fascinating. I'm not going to call him out because he's been doing it for so long. It's not going to change. Can I give a huge shout out? Can I give a huge shout out to Real Cool Guy, who's the first person who noticed that the last few streams the bed is made.
I pointed that out earlier.
I want about probably, but this like the unmade bed was like a staple of my stream for the entire time.
Well, you guys were asking Didius a question, but I quickly was just like, can we take a moment to appreciate his bed is made? And no one heard it, and I was like, oh, I noticed.
But yeah, so I checked the users for chat, and I'm like, oh, who is this person? And it's some big streamer who's obviously just looking for extra follows, and I don't know. It's kind of just like, I don't know. It kind of rubs me the wrong way, I think. But I think I take, truthfully, like, if I can admit something about myself, it's that I take, like, online stuff too personally. Sometimes if there's something that, like, I'd want to fix as a streamer is, like, I didn't do Twitch for a long time. I was used to real life. And in real life, if someone, like, says some shit to you or, like, does something to you and you think it's lame, like, they're accountable for that. And it's not really like that online. You need to develop thicker skin.
I'll make you a guide. It's fine.
At one point, I was like pissed off about it when I had like 0 viewers. I'm like, these people, I feel this how they're allowed to be there. Like, I don't know. People use it as a strategy though, definitely to get viewers, but they're preying on people with no viewers, and I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way.
I don't know how that's gonna work out though. It's like you're gonna put yourself in a channel that has like 1 or 2 people, and it's like, how's that gonna increase?
And I hate I hate the ones that are like, yeah, I'm gonna get you like 2,000 followers, because it's like, okay, like I'm not saying it's great, but it's like, okay, great. So now I have like say 10,000 followers, and I still don't have a lot of viewers, because it's not like somebody's gonna pop into somebody's chat and be like, oh, this person has 10,000 followers, I'm going to watch them, So like, it's not like that helps at all. And like I don't know, like it does rub me the wrong way as well, like when I just see like the host bots that are in there too that I can't get rid of, that are just always there. Yeah, I don't know, like I feel like it doesn't help me grow as a channel, and I would just rather them not be there, because I would rather just have regular viewers instead.
I really like what Morgan said there. I think it's 100% true. No one follows based on followers. They follow based on the content and what's happening in chat. Like, it's way better to have like 60 followers and an active chat of 12 people than to have 1,000 followers and
false.
A chat of 1 person. Like what? It's not even close.
Look,
like
Spamming emotes.
If I can be the 69th or the 420th follower, I'm gonna follow just to be that follower.
so there's that one exception, right? There's those critical streaming milestones.
But other than that, I'm not.
Well, and some like I've seen some people try to say like, oh, but and if you have viewer bots, like that'll help you. That like like that'll help you out, right? But like, there's just something not right about somebody having like 400, 500 viewers in their channel, and there's only 10 people talking.
Well,
Like it just.
I think those
doesn't
are
make any
super
sense.
obvious because it's like you can say like it can say 2,000 people, but if it's like the same 3 people talking, and like it's just that, and then you're like something happened or
Yeah.
someone's botting or.
So I kind of got a question. So I mean, you've clearly built like a awesome like interactive community. A lot of them are here tonight.
Yeah.
Hanging out in chat. What's been the most surprising thing about growing your community, and maybe the most memorable, like if there's like an interaction or something that kind of comes to mind.
People who are like they're just like I'll support you till the end of time, and are like it's just crazy. I don't know. It's like
To
you
quote
feel
Ash,
the love.
you mean down ass bitch?
When I get messages like that, I feel very loved. It happens a lot, and it's crazy.
Sam, that's a very sweet sentiment. I'm sure Didius appreciates that tremendously.
It's moments like these where I'm glad I put chat on screen. So then when I upload to YouTube, people are gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
It's also amazing when chat offers to have me have sex with their wives in front of them.
Oh.
I feel very blessed.
Your chat gets a bit wild, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's
I have a question.
No,
Have you met any of your like community members in real life at all? Like I don't. Have you
I've
been
met-
to TwitchCon or any of those events?
I went to TwitchCon in September last year with Meme Librarian, actually. He's in chat.
Oh, you were there?
Oh, yeah.
I went last year.
Yeah, except I got pretty sick like a few days in, and that sucked like big time. But I had a lot of fun for the first like 2 days I wasn't sick.
I probably ran
it was
into
a
you,
good-
I just didn't know it.
Yeah, maybe there's a ton of people there.
Yeah, there are a lot of people.
Apparently,
Yeah, it was great.
Zippy was there. I don't know if I ever knew that. I definitely want to go to a TwitchCon. That's definitely on my list of things to do. I think. Well, I mean, me and Morgan had kind of talked about maybe doing it like this year at some point. But of
Yeah,
course,
but that went out.
an obvious problem to that plan. That's god, yeah. There's so many conventions that aren't happening now.
So
Didius, you're more of a PC player, right?
For sure, yeah. I don't have any consoles anymore, except like old ones on my shelf.
So you're not much of like a new console player? Because I was gonna ask if you were like thinking about ever getting like between the new Xbox with the new
PS4.
PlayStation, would you go PlayStation 4 or
For sure,
or
100%.
PS5, I
PlayStation,
guess.
yeah.
Mind if I ask why?
Because Xbox has
Exclusive,
like
I'm
no
sorry.
exclusives. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's a fair. Yeah, this is a good reason.
I think that's the main point, except for those like
That's
those
literally the
kids
only
who
reason.
grew up and
Like,
were like, "Oh, but Xbox is better," and it's like, I
Oh.
mean,
Hold up.
well, no,
Eric.
okay, you'll get Forza and Lego Forza on Xbox, so you can play those.
I
to
used to
your
be an
heart's
Xbox
content.
person, like big time, but also PlayStation. I don't know. I had a PlayStation 1 and Resident Evil Director's Cut. It was a great thing. It was Final Fantasy 7, great thing. PlayStation 1 was amazing.
PlayStation 1 was incredible. I agree.
Yeah.
I was talking today about how awesome that was actually with someone. I still kind of can't believe how good the catalog was for that.
Yeah, if you span their
was.
20 years of like making games, they have killers in there.
Yeah, the PS2 generation was actually also like unbelievable. That thing was in production for forever. Like,
So, Didius, I like we said, you're a member of True Variety. Can you run us down when Ash approached you to be on True Variety and like your reaction and like how do you think that came about and just
Sure. I was just thinking about this the other day. I actually have no idea how long it's been. Time's been flying.
Time is
crazy.
non-existent in this period of time anymore.
It's 5 months in already. It's absolutely insane. This year.
Well, it's the middle of May already. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't know Ash very well at the time, and I don't know. There wasn't that many people in True Variety, at least that stream much. Just a few, and I didn't have a team, and she seemed awesome. And said yes.
Were you like kind of like shocked, or like did you like knee jerk, like what, like this person I don't really know wants me to be on their team, and like
I mean, I felt blessed, like that someone wanted me that was better content creator, I guess. But other than that, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I was very grateful. I think when it happened to me, I was like, oh wow. I was grateful and surprised. I get those were my two reactions.
I was surprised. Yeah.
What do you mean go home? So, is this your normal backdrop for when you stream, or do you
no problem.
know, or do you?
Nah, I made this for this stream.
Ah.
Ooh.
Oh damn.
That's fun. Oh my god.
Yeah, you could use OBS as a source in Discord. So.
Can I actually do want to shine a light quickly on what Party just said, because I think it's just a really good comment and really good feedback. This is the third team I've been on, and the only one I felt welcome on. Teams are a joke 2/3 of the time. I have to say that like I was never on any stream teams before, but I was blown away at how like welcoming this one is and how much it feels like a team. Like, we're always like, we're on Discord, like asking for help or giving each other help or something and working on actually like growing together.
This one is like, most teams, if you're on the same team, generally people don't know other people on the team. But I feel like on this one, it's like, most people know each other.
A lot of people have met in person.
Yeah.
Like on this team. A huge shout out to the whole team of True Variety. You can get a link right there. And a huge shout out to Ash, who's
alternatively called Trev,
the leader of the team. And literally no one could do a better job of what Ash does in like leading the team. So huge shout out to both of them.
Yeah, it is something that I really love, actually, because like one of the things that I've noticed about this team is that everybody helps. Like quite a few of us will just like, I mean, at least like for everybody here that I know of, usually we tend to look at our list and we try to, like when we're gonna raid, we try to find any of the True Variety people first. We're like, okay, These are all the True Variety people that are on right now. Like I want to make sure to like prioritize them over anybody else first. Because like I think like we really try to help each other out. We all have different skills that we help each other out with also. And when I became a part of this team, like I was pretty blown away at just how much like everybody is just so nice to each other and how much they really want to help each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's for sure something else I saw too. Like a lot of teams, first team I've been on, but a lot of teams I've seen are all about like, they don't care about you. They're just like feeding the top, like they just try to get people to feed their own viewer count and stuff like that. Definitely not True Variety. So that was a good thing to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say, like, I think one of the habits that I've picked up being part of this team, I actually learned from Didius and from Ash, which is just like lurking and like trying to be in as, even if I'm not like chatting, just being there and available, like, and supporting.
Yeah.
Necessarily be, active in every chat, but I learned that from Didius and from Ash.
Like I have everybody on like my host list. Like I just make sure that I'm always hosting somebody. Or yeah, like what Melly said, like always trying to lurk in one of our chats. Just because I want to make sure that I'm doing my part in supporting, even if I can't talk,
And
so as long as I can host or something, that's I feel like that's I like this team.
Even beyond support, I think it's amazing. Like like how good everyone is on the team. Like it's like you could literally, I always say this, you could only, if you wanted to, you could probably get away with only watching true variety streamers and still not even come close to like being able to watch all the content, because everybody's so active, always making new stuff. And it's like it makes you want to get up and make new stuff yourself. You're like, damn, like my team is like, they, you know, up late. Everybody's streaming Final Fantasy VII for, you know, 12 hours.
5 a.m.
Like, I gotta get to work. Like, you know, people are out here making stuff, which is a good feeling, I think.
And like for the podcast itself, it's like a lot of people we've had on are either people who aren't on the team and then later got put on the team, or just like people that we've seen on the team, like, hey, we should, you know, hit them up because we're on the same team, we might as well talk to them and, you know, give them exposure.
Absolutely. So Didius, a question that gets asked sometimes on this podcast to people is, do you have like a favorite or least favorite like trend in gaming or surrounding gaming that like either you really like or gets on your nerves all the time?
Well, it's easier for me to think about something I dislike because just the recent whole Valorant and drops things, like that's more of a Twitch thing though. I've really just like started disliking these like drops on streamers, but that's not gaming in general.
I feel like
that totally works. Yeah.
Actually, I do know something about games. Remastered stuff. Like I want new games. Like I don't want remastered everything. That annoys the crap out of me. Although, like since I'm an older gamer, I played like all these games that are getting remastered, and I played them a crap load. And I want, you know, Warcraft 4, Portal 3, Half-Life 3, you know, like I did Diablo, maybe not Diablo, but I mean I do want Diablo, but they're rushing that one probably.
But you have a phone, right? So you can just play it on your.
Oh my god.
Although Half-Life Alex is technically, right?
Yeah, that was
the
a new one,
remastered
wasn't it?
stuff is like amazing because all these are old games. It's amazing for like people that haven't played the game before. Like they're definitely something that needs to happen, but I don't like how the studios are they just keep pumping those out, and that's how they're like making their bottom line, and they don't care about like the new games. Like I want there to be like a wave of new stuff more so than the old stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I kind of agree.
No,
go ahead, Morgan.
I'm sorry. Like, I definitely agree. Like, what Eric just said there about Resident Evil 4 remastered, or remade, I guess, because they're actually doing it like a remake, like 2 and 3. And I feel like that one came out.
They're gonna remake the entire series. Let's be honest.
I think that's kind of what they're gonna go for right now, which is a bit unfortunate because I feel like Resident Evil 4 is just one that probably doesn't need to be remade, especially since it's had so many like re-releases on like every system.
It's been ported to everything.
For me, like I do agree with that now that you say it, because there really has been a huge upsurge in doing remasters for new systems. There are some games that I would be okay with doing that, mostly especially now just because there's some games that I want to be able to stream without a huge hassle. Like for me, like I have this little adapter that is terrible for my Wii because I want to try to do GameCube games, and it works half the time. And so like there are some times I'm like, okay, like I would really love a remaster for Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door or Super Mario Sunshine, you know? Like there's certain games that I would be okay with, but especially when they've been remade a few times, I feel like it's just too much. And now I think, isn't there even a category? Or did we say that there should be a category for like remasters and remakes for things now, like in gaming?
Oh yeah, for the like
because they've been doing it so often. Yeah.
Because I feel like it takes away from people who put in like actual effort to put a new IP or like something out. Mm-hmm. When it's like, oh, you have dedicated fans for like a game, and it's just like, oh, okay, everyone's just gonna vote for this because they love that game, and then
it depends to me on the extent of it, really. Like, I'm much more okay with something like that's like incredibly drastic, like Final Fantasy VII remake, than I am with something like the weird thing to me about remaking Resident Evil 4 is because Resident Evil 4 is still super playable. Like it's like that's like a bizarre choice, and I kind of got a little bit like about like the BioShock remake when that happened. Like, I'm glad they brought it for like people who play PS4 and stuff like. But like having like a BioShock remake on PC was like weird to me. I'm like, BioShock is
That was like the Skyrim.
super playable right now.
Like Skyrim on PC. They were like, oh, it's like there's a special edition. And it's like, but we didn't need a special edition because like you can mod stuff and get like everything better.
Yeah, exactly. You can mod Skyrim. Yeah, no, that was probably, in my opinion, the least sensible one I've ever seen. Which is like, you can mod it and you can do the bug fix.
They didn't even fix anything.
Skyrim patch.
That was the same game. It's just like
that's the thing. It's like you can like. You could have already improved on Skyrim enough. Like, they had the tools. Skyrim is one of the easiest games to mod right now that we have. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's not a joke to mod. It's just easier than most other things.
Final Fantasy VII's an interesting one because they made that real-time combat thing, which I haven't, since it's PlayStation 4, I can't play it, or haven't. Everyone here used the real-time, right? You enjoyed the real-time combat?
Yes.
Because it's not like the original game at all.
Yeah, it's not turn-based. It's
there's things that are different also.
It's a mix. I'd say it's a mix of turn-based.
Yeah, because there are aspects of like you have to like slow. It like slows down when you pull up the menu, and you can still like cast spells and like do certain stuff. But
yeah.
See, like something like that, I definitely think is okay enough because there's even things that are in this new game that weren't really present in the old one. So it feels enough like a new game, especially for for newer players that have never played it before.
Because they added in characters and like the whole end is like not just the same.
It's been completely rebuilt from the ground up, so it's not. Yeah,
it only took them 4 years, but
remake in the truest sense.
Yeah, like I feel like that's different instead of like just putting like an HD texture over a game and that's all you're doing.
It deserves the remake title instead of remastered.
Yeah, agreed.
There's an actual difference. Because like Rory will know, I have this complaint with Capcom and Devil May Cry all the time, is that the Devil May Cry HD remaster, it's literally the same. They're not even changing anything about the graphics. They're just fitting it to a 16:9 screen and making it 1080.
The best thing about those is that it brought it to PC.
But like the menus are still in the aspect of 4:3 and like not even 16:9.
That was something that made it kind of hard for Shenmue 1 and 2 for me because I have it on my Xbox and I want to play it, like I want to play Shenmue, but it still feels like it's from the Dreamcast. Like it's still like it's so clunky, and so I feel like if they're going to do that, they need to make it feel like at least a little bit better to play on newer consoles because it's like it was so difficult just to move around because it just felt like I was on a Dreamcast.
Eric, Eric's a great guy. There's a lot that can be said about Eric, but the main thing I always notice about him is that he, he's willing to die for the cause. Right? He's been saying that DMC is the best Devil May Cry game basically every podcast I can remember, and he gets shot for it every time. Eric's out here to fight.
Shoot you too,
right?
I'm gonna get unmodded.
Megan, I don't recommend starting with the first one, but it's good.
Megan, after the Give Me God of War thing, I don't know. That might not be the game for you.
The first one is great, Andrew, but I would not recommend newcomers start with it.
It's dated like Andrew, though. Like.
Oh.
Wow.
So one of the things actually, we'll probably be cluing up pretty soon because we're getting close to sort of our unofficial ending time. So I'm trying to just make sure I didn't miss any critical questions here. There's we have a doc. We're very organized.
Yeah, they read it. I don't. As you can probably tell.
Wow.
It's too much reading. Also,
Did we get
everything,
Nelly, that you wanted to that you saved and wanted to ask?
think I got all the stuff from chat.
Okay, yeah.
So right now, into this, if you want, you can go ahead and give everyone the rundown of what you're doing, any future plans for your streams, games, content.
It's like the end of Hot
changes.
Ones, except you didn't have to go through a lot of pain.
Yeah.
You didn't have to.
You didn't have to feel your face melt off to.
Yeah, sure. Right now I'm playing Star Wars, The Fallen Jedi. Or wait, that's its name, right?
Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, Jedi
Jedi Fallen Order. Yeah.
That's
There you
Star
go.
Wars game, you know.
They knew what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Playing on the hardest difficulty, which so far hasn't seemed too hard. I'm sure there's boss fights that take me hours or something, hopefully. But well, hopefully not. Hopefully. And, other than that, I have no plans in life. And whenever you talk to older people, and they're like, "What? You don't have like a plan?" They're like, "You're freaking crazy." And yeah, so I don't have any plans. I'm gonna play the Tarkov wipe for sure, 100%. Probably play it way too much, and I have no idea what I'm doing after Star Wars. Usually, I have no idea what I'm doing. Gonna keep doing that. Yeah.
Just wing.
Well,
that's how.
First of all, before we take our
did you almost say take our lunch?
No, last questions.
Oh, okay.
No, we don't take we take our lunch break around now. Before we take our last questions from the audience, first of all, Didius, I have to say thank you so much for being on. It was a real pleasure, getting to know you better and meeting some of your audience. They do enjoy trolling us from time to time. Yes. I imagine that you guys have.
They're also very vivid with their descriptions, and I'm glad everyone on YouTube will see them.
Yeah, guys. There's the link. Thank you, Morgan. For if you want to hop on over, and I am not asking him that. And Didius and his wonderful content.
Well, now you have to ask me.
I delegated to Trev.
What?
So,
I don't ask questions.
I'll ask. Okay, so what's this about, Didius?
What about?
Is this like a meme or is like a?
So we're actually asking him this? This is what we've come to? Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Hey,
we did a 45-minute segment on Wendy's, all right?
If you're talking about chat, he's crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. So.
There's not like a hidden clip that we're supposed to see and then they won't understand.
That's the first time I've heard him say anything about testosterone. He's a troll, so But he's a very loving troll, so
the best of the best of their kind. So for everyone here who came to hang out for the episode, thank you so much for dropping by. It was great to see you all. We're gonna be back next Wednesday with something, but I don't know what yet. But we will be back at 9 Eastern. As usual. We're really looking forward to seeing you guys and hanging out. And remember, guys, you can actually get all of these episodes. If you loved this episode and the first thing you want to do is watch it again.
I'm kind of behind on there because I still haven't uploaded the series where we all got interviewed, but I'll get on it. So
because you're going to have to wait a little bit. And on that playlist, you'll be able to find the interviews where if you want to get to know us hosts of the podcast, we did a little series of 4-week segment where each of us actually got interviewed. So if you wanted to get to know us better, you can do that there. You can also find links to our channels down in the about us below. That's very sweet, Megan.
If you want to see how far we've come from, starting and not having any layout, any face cam border, anything extra on the screen.
All the episodes are there. Because one day we'll probably do a top moments of streamers become human. I kind of want to do that at some point. It'll be fun.
And they're in order too.
Watch episode 4. Eric, I believe, was on episode 4. Unless Eric is recommending someone else's episode. I do seem to recall he was the 4th guest.
I think he was, yeah.
I like how this episode is Trev titled it "A New Guest."
No. So
every other episode on here has a fancy title with something about the guest that just
there's a reason for that. So I started the first 6 with Star Wars related titles. If you go through and check, because I think one of them the Phantom something. I think Tony was the Phantom Tony. There was a new guest, which was supposed to be a New Hope.
Something strike. Somebody struck back.
Yeah, something.
Somebody strikes
There was a theme, right? And then like eventually I ran out of titles because Star Wars ended episode 6. I don't care what anyone else says.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you got. I remember that title, Megan. I don't know why. That one was one of my favorites.
Right?
That one was one of my favorites, though. So you can see our interviews there soon, and Didius's interview again, if you're so inclined, or if you had a friend who missed it. In the meantime, guys, we are gonna do a raid. We are gonna be raiding. Yes. Wait, hold up. Did we?
Oh, I mean, I can't. I saw one of the names, and I was just gonna do that name because
You saw one of the names, and you're
Yeah.
gonna do that one. All right, Trev, type in whichever name you want to type, and then that's who we're gonna raid.
I
And
gotta make sure I'm typing.
I'll tell you how awesome they are in a minute when I find out who it is.
I'd like to say really fast
Surprise.
that you're all
Yeah.
doing an amazing job doing this podcast. And since I'm the Gandalf the Twitch, I've seen tons of people try to do podcasts and they give up really fast. They just let it go. And you're all doing a great job and keep it up.
Oh, that's incredibly sweet.
Thank you.
That means a lot because you're always here, and like whether you make yourself known or not, and like you've seen our like rise and potentially, hopefully not fall. Like,
Well, a lot of people just they walk away from Twitch or podcasts or all this stuff like all the time. So it's nice to see you all keep going and doing well. So.
Oh, thank you so much. And I don't know if you know Didius, but once you are on the podcast once, you implicitly sign a lifetime contract for if we want to have you on again, we can have you on
look,
again.
it
So-
could be 40 years from now, and if I decide to restart this podcast and be like, "Yo, we need someone else back on," and we hit you up, you need to reply. It's like the bat signal. Like, once that goes up,
Bat
you need to
signal.
come back.
implicit contracts.
Guys, we're gonna be rating Kilroy. Kilroy is an awesome streamer, has a killer setup, super nice, is probably playing Doom 3 right now, right? He's playing Doom 3? Doom 3 is cool as shit, and y'all should watch it. Yeah, just say...
He's also
say,
been on the cast before, so.
He's been on the cast before. I've co-streamed with Kilroy. We co-streamed Quake Champions.
He was the person we were talking about earlier when we said that he watched the VODs and like that was a terrible service, and that's why we uploaded him to YouTube.
Yeah, he's a fan, so be nice to our fan, will you? And like I said, we'll be back next Wednesday, 9 Eastern, and we're excited to see you guys again.
All right, so till then, see you guys next time.
Take it easy.
Bye, guys.
Bye.